Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gita Marie and you're gonna have to deal with the video where my earrings are probably making more noise than usual. I just heard it. Okay. Great start for video today. One of the biggest benefits, in my opinion, of being more eco-conscious is the fact that you also save money because you don't buy so much unnecessary stuff. It is by far one of the most easy selling points of trying to live a more sustainable lifestyle. It's just like buying less crap. But there are tons of things that many people wouldn't necessarily categorize as crap that I also don't buy. And there are many reasons for this. And I thought today, let's talk about some of the things that I don't buy. Some of them might be surprising. Let me know down below if you have also stopped buying these things, or if you now think about these things in a different way, or perhaps you consider not buying them. This is not me saying that you can't buy these things ever. It's just personally on my end, it has just not been necessary, or I have taken like deliberate steps to just not spend my money this way. So there is that. Let's get to it. First thing, that I refuse to buy plastic bags in a grocery store. I also don't use the cheaper quality free ones. I just don't fuck with plastic bags in general. I would much rather carry everything in my arms, struggling like all hell, rather than buy a plastic bag. I mean, and don't worry, they still find their way to my house, where I try to find ways of using them in the most reasonable way, but I'm not spending money on plastic bags. I would rather struggle. Shipping specifically is an odd one for me, and it was even before I started going into environmentalism. I could spend money on something and then I realized what the shipping would be and I go, no. So I don't know what it is with shipping, but specifically from an environmental perspective, express shipping, overnight shipping, spending more money to get things quicker, that kind of convenience. And my philosophy is here that it's good to wait for stuff. It's really healthy to not get accustomed to getting everything you want whenever you want it. There are consequences to that kind of behavior and that kind of mindset. And I think, in my opinion, it's healthy to be able to organize yourself, to plan more, and to receive things in the natural time it takes for them to arrive without express or overnight anything. So I've never bought that. I've never used that kind of service. I will buy something online, especially like from Vinted and stuff, and then things arrive when they arrive. Controversial one, but I know there are people in my audience who do the same thing, and I love it whenever you tag me in this, but I haven't bought an elastic hair tie in 10 years, I guess. I don't think I have. I use the ones I already have, and the ones I already have, I've primarily found on the street. So getting a hair tie is a community-based activity. You leave some behind, other people get them. I put them in my freezer for 24 hours before I use them, and that's it. If I find like a hair clip like that in a thrift store, I'll get it, but from new, forget about it. I like this one, it matches my dress. Anyway, notebooks and pens. I haven't bought notebooks or pens in ages because you accumulate them anyway. Now I travel quite a bit with my job, and I always stay in hotel rooms where there are notepads available or there are pencils, and I sometimes just take that instead. They're meant for me to use anyway. I have also visited the European Parliament, both in Brussels and Strasbourg, so many times at this point that I just know I'm gonna get a pencil, anything of the sort. And that is mainly what I use. One second. I actually do use notepads quite a lot. It's where I make my to-do lists for my job, so I get like my thoughts organized. And for that right now, I'm using, here we have her. It's a European Parliament notebook. It's from the Sakharov Prize. And my pen right now, it's from a hotel in Copenhagen. Why would I spend money on pretty stationery when you can get this stuff for free every place you go? Something that I don't give two flying fucks about, and thus will not spend money on it, is just vain tech upgrades for the reason of it. I'm not gonna get the new smartphone if something comes along that's more advanced than what I already have, if what I already have works. And even then, honestly, I'm never buying the newest model of anything. I'm just not going to spend my money on the hype. I get all my tech secondhand, and I'll always go for like a model that's a year too old because it's cheaper. I see it this way. I am not nearly important enough for that to make sense. If you just use your phone for scrolling and taking pictures of your dog, I do not understand why you need the newest smartphone. What are you doing with all this horsepower? I don't even think I need it. Controversial one, again, I am not spending my money on carbon offsetting. Simply because, okay, if I know for a fact that what it does works, and if I feel like there is enough information about it for me to make an informed decision, it's a different story. But if you're, for instance, I was recently on a bus to Copenhagen, and when I buy my bus ticket, I have the option to, for an extra like £3, I can get carbon offsetting on my trip, and it says nothing about what the carbon offsetting is doing, and that it simply doesn't make sense. It is just a way of getting people to pay more, honestly. And I have a whole video about how carbon offsetting works, because it's kind of like stock exchange and real estate, and it's a very fluffy, vague thing, and chances are it's doing fuck all. So some companies found out that consumers are so willing to buy something to offset what they're doing to feel better about it, rather than just buying less crap. So in order to get people to continue to buy stuff, you can carbon offset, and then they promise to plant a tree or whatnot, and 9 out of 10 times the shit doesn't work. It's not doing what you think it's doing. So I am typically just not spending my money on carbon offsetting. I am not paying to buy paper that's going to be thrown away. It's just not going to happen. Neither ribbons or glittery things or greeting cards or like anything related to wrapping a gift in disposable materials. I'm not paying for it. I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting resources on it. I think it's stupid. So I save my wrapping paper year after year. Use the same thing. I have wrapping paper that's like at least 10 years old. Works like a charm. Just be careful with it. And I promise you, I'm not even obnoxious about it sitting there while people opening gift. Like, be careful with it. I need to use it again. And like people I give presents to tend to know what I'm about anyway, so I don't have to say anything. They're just being careful and considerate, and it's fantastic. And if I'm giving gifts to children, I'll use like a little tote bag where they can unwrap it without breaking it, or I'll use newspapers that I have anyway. Yeah, not buying gift wrapping, because why would you when there's so many other ways of wrapping gifts, and it's cheaper, it's better for the planet, it's a win-win, it's fantastic. You can also use scarves or kitchen towels. Also, disposable beauty products like disposable sheet masks or disposable razors or disposable period products, like any kind of beauty or care product in a disposable form, I'm just gonna gravitate away from, like wet wipes as well, that kind of thing, and find reusable alternatives, which just tend to be more economical. And then if I want a face mask, I will do something that doesn't require the polyester sheet over your face. Like, you can do other things. There are plenty of face masks that come in small jars, and then you can put it on your face and wash it off. Like, why would you need the mask? No need, when it's just going to deteriorate in a landfill anyway. Sort of the same with disposable razors. I've been a safety razor girl for 10 years and I'm not looking back. Number 9, bottled water. What the fuck? I live in Denmark, where the water is okay, and whenever I travel to other countries where the water is either better but also just okay, which is fine, I will ask for tap water any day of the week. I will fill up my reusable water bottle. Overall, the Danish water is also fine. In many places, it's great. It's just there are some areas in Denmark where there's a lot of nitrate in the water from animal agricultural pollution. I grew up being told that we have some of the best water in the world in Denmark. We don't. I've been to Finland. I can vouch. We do not. But I'll still ask for tap water rather than bottled water. In places where you can drink the tap water, why wouldn't you? Logo, products, designer, luxury items of any kind, honestly, but especially, I don't know if you can say especially when I don't buy designer products or logo products anyway, but especially designer and luxury items that do not have the quality to back up the price point. Obviously, there is a point where no amount of quality increase can justify the price tag, like Hermes bags, that kind of thing. But overall, you can find a lot of luxury goods that are classified luxury goods that are still reasonably priced for what you're actually getting. And I like that. That's not expensive, that's just costly. And it's costly because it took effort and time and resources to make, and that's how it should be, so that's okay. But logo things that's just like for showing off, or things that do not actually have good quality, it's just like you want the label, fuck that. I'm not spending my money on that for a single second. Rubber bands, I don't buy those. I get them with my groceries. I can see in grocery stores you can get like a box of rubber bands. Why would you ever buy these? Whenever you buy like carrots, spring onion, asparagus, that kind of thing, you get a rubber band and then you keep it. No need to buy something new. The next one is a big one for me. I refuse to pay extra for oat milk in cafes in 2026. The thing is, at least where I live, milk isn't less expensive than oat milk at this point. And oat milk is more shelf stable, has a longer lifespan. You can store it for longer. It's going to stay fresher. So the argument that buying oat milk costs more for the cafe, I'm simply not buying it. Feels greedy. And it also drives an incentive for customers to not choose a planet-friendly option. Like, why would you do that? My favorite cafes in my town, they do not charge extra for oat milk. Love to see it. I refuse to do that. I'll find a place where I can get it without paying £2 extra. And sort of within sort of the cafe restaurant sphere, I have a really hard time paying for a meal if I know I can make it at home. I can make it better at home. So whenever I'm out in a restaurant, I want to experience something that I cannot recreate myself necessarily or easily, like in an everyday food. I'm not gonna buy a tomato salad with romaine lettuce and that's it, because I can get that anytime I want for way cheaper. I'm very hesitant to try pasta dishes that are very simple, like just a pasta and tomato. If you're in a restaurant, I want something that I know I can't make at home. Now, this is different if you're in a restaurant where there aren't really that many vegan options, but I will complain about it. Let it be known. Last one, I'm not paying for dry cleaning. I have several pieces of vintage clothing that says dry clean only, and I'm sorry, honey, you're not gonna be dry clean. I'm obviously taking care of them, not throwing them into the washing machine with all my remaining laundry. So I'm taking care of it, but I'm not gonna pay to have it dry cleaned. Have you seen what dry cleaning costs? And furthermore, the chemical pollution from dry cleaning. No, thank you. I won't be doing that. Okay. And with that, any kind of tumble drying is also not my thing. It's expensive, it wears out your clothes, which means that you'll have to replace your clothes more often, and it's just really resource intensive. No thank you. And with that, those are things that I just refuse to pay for. Let me know down below if you agree or you disagree. If there is something else that you refuse to pay for, share with the group. There is often a massive overlap between being more sustainable and trying to be more economical on your budget. Those things can coexist perfectly. Simply just buying less crap is a really good first step to being an environmentalist. You're doing a great job if you're not buying crap. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and take really good care of yourselves. Until next time. Bye.